All right, this is Jeff Stunker, the Zookeeper's Diary, and we are here who is going to show us some information about these A12 Chrysler intakes. Now, Dave, as we were just talking, you were telling me about the fact that Edelbrock didn't finish these intakes when they were getting ready to deliver them to Chrysler.
Correct. So I did a tour of the Chrysler Trenton engine plant up near Detroit that built every 446-pack engine. And according to the guy that was giving us the tour that actually worked there in 1969, from his recollection, he remembers that Edelbrock couldn't meet the production goals of Chrysler to provide all these 6-pack intakes. So basically, they sent the intake manifolds to Chrysler as just a raw casting.
Okay, so it was none machine. At this point, none of those have shown up to see what that actually looked like.
That is correct.
Okay.
As far as I know, yes. No unfinished intakes.
Now, Dave, the gentleman also noted when you were talking that they had to use a cast iron machining tool on these aluminum intakes. So you were pointing out that the result was some pretty serious ridging that would be down in the portwork here on the ones the factory actually did. Now, the Chrysler number on this is 3412046, but even in that case, there's some variance between that. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have found just looking at different examples that came off or were used with real cars.
Okay, we'll use this one as an example.
Okay.
When NHRA was trying to get, or Chrysler was trying to get approval from NHRA to use the 446-pack engine in the stock eliminator class.
Correct.
Somehow the documentation came out that the last digit of the part number was 8.
Oh, is that right? I was not aware of that.
But if you actually look at these casting numbers, it's actually a 6 at the end, and the Chrysler documentation was a 6 at the end. So my theory is they tried to change the casting to actually make it appear to be an 8.
Interesting.
To make it meet NHRA requirements.
Right, because the letter I've got in my archive was between someone at Chrysler and somebody at NHRA regarding the fact they wanted a list of owners, and the reply was, well, there's no list of owners because these are street cars. These are not super stock specials like we've done with the Hemi stuff. So
that's correct.
Yeah. So these are 3 intakes that are originally on cars, but yet you've got one here that is basically brand new.
Yes, this is a new old stock one that actually has the same casting
Chrysler casting
number as this orange example over here. But simply this is just an NOS version that's never been on an engine before.
Okay. Now, would this have been something, had you gone through Hustle stuff for one of the other catalogs, would that have been the intake you probably would have ended up with?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. This simply was one from those package of cars that never got put on a motor.
That's correct.
Okay.
So somehow it made it out of Trenton engine machine, but just never put on an engine. Because if you did go to order an intake manifold, as far as I know, it would have this CH6B designation on it.
So the CH6B being Edelbrock's aftermarket designation. Now, interestingly enough, the Chrysler casting number is still there.
It's still there.
So Edelbrock had done the tooling with the Chrysler casting number, but when you bought it through the aftermarket, that's CH6B is on there, which would tell you right away the intake was not done at Trenton like the real intake should have been done.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
actually, if you look at the bores, being an aftermarket intake, look how smooth these bores are.
So Edelbrock was used to machining aluminum and in production.
Yes.
So again, so you can see from this is the aftermarket for sale version over the counter, and here's the NOS version. Again, you can really see the ridging on that. So All right, very cool. Just want to appreciate you taking the time to take a last look at this stuff, and glad you guys brought it out.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, glad you came out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool to see all these cars here too. So again, with day one, this is Jeff Stunt.